Hello, thanks for joining me today. I'm going to talk about the Sizzix Sidekick. And as most of us paper crafters know, Sizzix has come out with a new machine. It's the same as the old one. This is the original red Sidekick. And the new one that they came out with is white. Or if you get the Tim Holtz version, is brown. But they finally got their cutting plates available to buy separately. If you buy the new machine, it comes as a bundle with the machine, cutting plates, I believe the embossing pad, and then dies and stamps. They run about $50 for that kit. But I've had my red Sizzix Sidekick for a long time, as probably most of us that's had dies and machines have had theirs for a long time. So I wanted these because the machine itself has not changed. It's the same machine. The only thing that they changed was the cutting pads, because they're a little thicker than the original ones. So if I put them together, you can see that well. The new ones are a little thicker than the original ones. And you can still buy these original plates. Mine obviously are well used. Who knows how many sets of these I've went through. But these are pretty cheap. They're like $2.50 for a set of these. You can use these with the new machine also. But I'm going to show how these new pads work in the old machine with any brand of dies. These are spellbinders. I've got a paper smooches die. I've got some from Your Next Stamp. And you can see up here where I've die cut some already. But I'm going to show you just so you can see it. But it does cut through two pieces of paper. This is a cardstock and a piece of pattern paper at the same time. I'm sure it'll do two pieces of cardstock at the same time. So, yeah, let's give it a try, and we'll see. I'll let you see what it does. I lost my die. I'm used to my magnetic platform on my big kick, so when I put my dies down here, I'm not used to it sliding around. I'm used to it staying in place. But just like any other sandwich, you take your cutting plate, put your paper down, put the die down, and then put your other one on top and make your sandwich, and then run it through. Now this one also has a little suction cup thing on it, and honestly I don't ever use it. I just hold it down and you just run it through just like the big machine, and it will cut through these types of dies. See, cut right through. And of course they stick in there. Sometimes they do, sometimes they don't. You can use your piercing tool, or I have a die brush. That kind of works. Sometimes it don't. That time it did. But see, it cuts that out perfectly. Even that little intricate areas in there. So yes, your old machine can be used with the new cutting plates because they're thicker. But I did want to show a couple other things that I've been playing with, because I couldn't wait to get these. And I found them at scrapbook.com. She has them for like $3.60 for a pair. That's pretty cheap, and I bought two. So I've been kind of playing around and seeing what all it'll do and what it won't do. I will try to cut some sticky back foam. This comes from the Dollar Tree. It's just craft foam that has adhesive on the back. I have not tried this in this machine yet, but I'm going to do it now because it will cut through multiple layers of cardstock. And I think I'll use that paper smooches die, the leaf, and just see what it does in the Sidekick. Now, you can find this little red Sidekick on eBay, I've seen, for like 20 bucks. But honestly, I would not pay more than $20 for it, because you can buy a whole new one for like $50. This one, or Tim Holtz ones, and it comes with accessories, so unless you can get one real cheap, I wouldn't bother. But those of us that have had these for years, I've had this one, I'm not sure, 12 or 14 years. And it's, like I said, it's the same machine. Alright, so here goes the sticky back craft foam. We're going to see what it does in here. I am guessing that it's going to cut through it. Sometimes the wafer thin dies are a little odd. I can't get mine to cut through felt on my big kick machine. I have to put shims in it. Yeah, I'd say that works pretty good on the craft foam. Cut it out. And you could take your piercing tool, whatever I did with mine, there it is, way up there. Poke these centers out. Yeah, so it cuts through sticky back craft foam. Cool. So another thing that I tried, the new Tim Holtz one comes with these little small embossing folders that are made to fit through here. Like I said, you can use any die, any brand that you have, as long as it fits in this. I think it's 2 1/4 or something like that wide. But I have some older embossing folders. Now, these are the traditional ones that obviously you have to use in your Big Shot or your Big Kick or Cuttlebug or whatever you have. But I had some older ones from Provocraft, Cuttlebugs, embossing folders. These are real small. I don't even know if they make these anymore. I doubt it. These, like I said, I've had these a very long time. Now, the new machine comes with these cutting pads, and it also comes with what they call an embossing plate. So you can put your little embossing folders in here and run it through, and it'll emboss it. But I didn't buy that. All I wanted was the cutting plates. So I wanted to try, and I don't think I've ever done this before with these. I might have. Honestly, I don't remember. I don't use cutting plates or my Sidekick machine much. But now that it's like all the rage, I'm experimenting. I'm looking for a piece of paper that's going to show up well. Here's purple. I'm going to emboss that. Now, I did try using these new cutting plates together with this embossing folder. Too thick. Does not work. But it does work with the original ones. These are the original cutting plates that you can still buy, like I said, for like $2.50. They still sell them even at Sizzix website. So these are the original ones. So if you buy the new machine, it'll come with the embossing. You don't have to worry about doing this. But for those of us who have the old one, let me get this open. Here we go. Fimbly fingers here. Alright, original plate, mini embossing folder, cutting plate back on top. So maybe people that have this original machine like the new texture trades or mini trades or whatever they're called Tim Holtz is coming out with. Use your original plates. Doesn't feel like much when you're running it through there. Doesn't feel like it's doing anything. But look. Embosses. See? Perfect. And another one I have is this little skinny one. It does the same thing. You run it through. It's a little bit longer than the cutting pad. It kind of sticks out the end. But the other ones are probably not going to be that long. But here's one I did on another piece. It embossed it pretty good. So there's a few options with the old machine and the new one. The old machine, we used to have to use these. As you can see, you're not supposed to cut on that, but I did. These were called a Sizzix adapter. You could use the original plates. Put your paper down, your die down, then this, but you are only limited to however big this is, which is pretty small. So if you had a longer die, it wouldn't work, because you'd have to put two together, and you might get it, but you might get a gap right there. So the new pads are great. I couldn't wait to get them. I've been waiting and waiting and waiting. Finally I found them. So they're great with this machine. Works perfect. And another thing real quick I wanted to share. Sizzix still makes these decorative strips. These big long decorative strips. I still have quite a few of those. And then these are the really long plates that go with them. When I had this one, they just roll through like the little short ones. But when they quit making this, you had to buy an extended platform for your big shot or your big kick in order for these big long dies to fit. And I'll see this one's, I think everybody remembers this. Yeah, you needed the big long extended platform, and I don't have any of those really long dies. So I always used my Sidekick. Well, now that they come out with a new Sidekick, I mean, definitely can use these in the new machine. They're same machine, just different cutting pad. So that's about all I wanted to share. The new cutting pads work with the old Sidekick machine, or if you don't have one, get the new one. Comes with pads. You can buy extra ones, because these will eventually turn into something like this. They'll get all scratched up, and surprisingly these aren't warped. My original ones too much yet. These ones will. That one actually is kind of bent already just from running a few times, but you're supposed to flip them. Run it through, then flip it over. It keeps it flat. And what I like to do on mine is use one for cutting only, and the top one I never cut with. Until the bottom one gets really, really bad, it'll eventually start leaving marks in your paper. And then I'll use a new one, and then a new one on top. So my top one is always flat. So I like to do that. That's just one of my little tips there for you. So I hope you got some info out of this if you have one of the old Sidekick machines. I know I've used mine for many years with the original little Sizzlets. I'll show you one of those. I do have these. You can still buy these. Sizzix has lots of these sets that are retired, but they put them on sale a lot. You can get them pretty cheap. But you will need the original plates, because the new ones will not work. So thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye.